Good afternoon. So today we're going to look at a song by Oasis called Half the World Away. It's fairly simple. It's based on open chords. I've got the capo here on the 2nd fret. When Noel plays it live, plays the acoustic version, that's how he plays it. On the record, it's actually just the open chords, so obviously it works both ways. And when I say that I'm actually playing on the 2nd fret, technically it's the 4th fret, but you're counting from the capo, which is on the 2nd fret. I'll play you a little bit. I'm just going to play the verse for a minute. Okay, so working through the chords, the first chord is a C chord. 3 fingers, so the 1st string is open, and then we're on the 1st fret on the 2nd string. The 3rd string is open on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and the 3rd fret of the 5th string. Just sort of play across it and make sure that all the strings are ringing out. Be especially careful with this 3rd string up. Make sure that the 2nd finger doesn't rub against it. So sort of think of arched fingers. So try and basically make sure all the notes ring out. So that's your first chord, that's a C. The 2nd chord is an F major 7. You keep the 1st finger where it is, and the 2nd finger goes down onto the 2nd fret of the 3rd string up, and the 3rd finger onto the 4th string up, 3rd fret. So it's basically those 2 fingers are moving across and the 1st finger's staying where it was. So that's an F major 7, and you play from the 4th string down with that one, and with the C you play from the 5th string down. So actually, if you can practice that movement with these 2 fingers, try and sort of move them together at the same time so that they're hopping across. They're both sort of hopping from one string to the other. That's your first 2 chords. Okay, now the next part, we're sort of moving down with the bass. So you've got the 5th string up the 3rd fret there on the C, then take the 3rd finger off. The 2nd finger moves to the 5th string up, 2nd fret. The 1st finger still where it was on the 2nd string up, 1st fret. And then we're going down to an A minor, which is still the 1st fret on the 2nd string up, 3rd string up, 2nd fret, and 4th string up, 2nd fret, 5th string open, and that's the A. So that's A minor. Again, make sure that the 3rd finger clears that 2nd string. If you've got it laid too flat that way, then you'll lose your note. So try and sort of keep your hand arched, your fingers arched, and your wrist so it's clear of the open strings. Okay, so that's A minor, and then we're going to a D chord, which is all change. Basically, 2nd finger on the 1st string, 2nd fret, 3rd finger on the 2nd string, 3rd fret, and the 1st finger on the 3rd string, 2nd fret again. 4th string up the D string, that's open, and you're playing 4 strings. and then we are returning to the second chord that we played at the beginning, which was the F major 7, which is this one here. And that is the first part of the verse. So let's go on to the rhythm and just look at the first two chords for that. So we're going to be going from the C to the F major 7. And the rhythm is basically down, down, up, up, down. I'll play that again. Down, down, up, up, down. And then you change to the next chord. Down, down, up, up, down. So that's a good part to get used to. So you're getting used to the changing of the fingers from there, and also trying to keep the rhythm constant. When you change from the chords, you need to sort of give yourself a bit of time to make sure that your fingers are in position on the next chord by the time you play the next down stroke. Okay, and okay, so the next bit we've got the descending bass line. We've actually got two chords in the bar here. So you're going from the C to the C with the B bass, and then the A minor, and picking up the full rhythm. I'll do that again. So we've got the C with the B bass, A minor, and then we go across to the D chord, and back to the F major 7. And that is the verse loop. So I'll just go through that slowly. When I'm doing the bass line that's going down, I'm actually digging into the bass note, so from the 5th string. So the emphasis more is across the 5th, 4th and 3rd rather than all 5 strings. So that's the main part of the verse. So now let's move on to the chorus. The first chord of which is an A minor, which is this. So we've already covered that in the first part, so let's carry on with that. The second chord is the C again, which is your first chord of the verse. Then we've got a new chord which is E minor, which is very much like A minor but shunted up one string. So you have 3rd string up 1st fret, 4th string up 2nd fret, 5th string up 2nd fret, and the 6th string is open. 1 and 2 are open as well, so that's that one there. Make sure that's ringing out nicely. Check each string like that. Okay, and then we go back to an A minor. So that's the first 4. It goes once around that, then it goes to the F major 7, which is the second chord of the intro, to your D major, which again we've covered, on on to a new chord, which is G. And here I would, if you put the little finger down there, keep the third finger where it was, so you've got first string 3rd fret, second string 3rd fret, open on the 3rd string, open on the 4th string, and then the first finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string, and the second finger on the 3rd fret of the 6th string. So we have all 6 strings there. That's a G. Okay, now this is a bit of an awkward change, this one. We've got to go to a G7, so you've actually got to swap everything round to do it. Basically the idea is you're flattening that note on the first string, but unfortunately fingers don't quite bend that way, so we've got to swap the fingers around. So play your second finger there where your first finger was, so on the 5th string up 2nd fret, and then your 3rd finger onto the 6th string 3rd fret, and then that allows you to put your first finger here on the 1st fret of the 1st string. So that's a G7. Bit of a stretch, that one. Okay, and then we go back to the first part, which is A minor, E major, A minor, and then we've got single strums on the F major 7 again, and then we've got a new chord which is part of a bar chord, which is an F minor. So what's happening here is this is barred across the 1st fret for 3 strings, the 1st, 2nd and 3rd strings, a bar with the first finger where you're sort of holding down across all 3, and then a stretch across to the 3rd fret on the 4th string up. And you just play 4 strings for that one. And from there it goes back to the second part of the verse. So let's just play through that whole chorus, starting with the A minor. So A minor, C, E, A minor, F major 7, D, G, G7, A minor, C, E major, A minor, F major 7, F minor, just the one strum over 2 bars, back to the verse there, and an extra strum on the F major 7 before it returns to the verse. So at the end there, after having played through the verse, chorus on the sort of the last chorus, it's so there's just a couple more bars on the F major 7 before it goes back to the C. And what you can do is, on the record there's a second guitar, an electric guitar, which is doing some picking parts. You can actually play that on the acoustic. So that would sound like this. So what I'm doing is I'm actually strumming across so it's the first 2 chords that I'm just using in the verse to demonstrate this. So I'm strumming from the 5th string up and then picking. So the strum down, 3rd string, 1st, 2nd string, and third string. And then a similar pattern on the F major 7, so strum down from the 4th string up, 3rd, 1st, 2nd, 3rd. And then when you come to the next part, if you want to elaborate on it a little, where the bass is going down, you can play the bass note first and then the rest of the chords. So that is the 5th string up on the C chord, and then strumming from the 4th string up down, and then changing to the C with the B bass, playing a single note, so that 2nd fret on the 5th string up, followed by the strum from the 4th string down, and then pick the rhythm up. And again, the way you can play this rhythm is to give it a bit of variation. You can actually play the bass note on its own first, and then pick up the rest of the rhythm. So that's the 5th string, the A string on its own, and then actually just playing the rest of the strum section from the 4th string to the 1st. So if I just play that whole section, and when I'm doing that I'm going to separate with the bass note. Okay, so I'm going to do that on the first 2 chords as well. So we've got, so that's the 5th string, 3rd fret on its own, the bass note of the C chord, and then strumming from the 4th string down, and then with the F major 7 playing the 4th string on its own first, and then a strum across the higher strings. So let's just play that. Now the descending bass to the A minor there. Then we go into the D chord. So you play the bass note first, which is the 4th string up, and the rest of the chord, and then the F major 7, 4th string first. So that's a variation you can do, or you could use the picking style that I just showed you, which would sound like this. And depending on whether the chord is covering 4 or 5 strings, then the pattern will start with the 5th string and then pick, or the 4th string and then pick from the 3rd. And if you have a chord which is 6 strings, then you can start with the bass note on the 6th string and then again jump over to the 3rd string up. So that can add a bit of variety, and if you have like 2 guitars playing it, you could have one doing the strumming and the other doing the picking part, and that works very well together. When it gets to the end of the song, and you've done the hung chords, and then it goes back to the descending C bass, just stays on the F major 7 4 times round, and then we're just vamping on the C and the F major 7. And there's a nice bit where he's actually putting his little finger down onto the 2nd string up. So that's on the 3rd fret there, 2nd string up, and the picking pattern there is slightly different. So it's 1st, 2nd, 1st, 2nd, and that last note, take your little finger off. And at actually the same time you change to the F major 7. So it takes a little bit of coordination there, sort of putting the little finger down on that 3rd fret 2nd string up and changing from the C to the F major 7. So you basically play that 2nd string up of the F major 7. So you've got to take the little finger off and change virtually at the same time. So that's about it really. You've got all the parts there. You've got the verse and the bridge part of the verse and the chorus section, a few extra little picking parts that you can add in. So basically you sort of keep practicing and try and put it all together. And I'll see you again in the next lesson. Thank you.